Hey, how's it going? Working with your next lab. This would be lab 1.2. So, um, now you've gone through a lot of the preliminaries of to studying the passage and just kind of getting an overview of. We use the fact book, the fact book. We went to tools, did FactBook, did all that. I want to now work on within this lab how to find certain information out within your lecture of 1.2. That the author makes says some words are different meanings he gives than the Hebrew words, and then you want to be able to find out, hey, is what this guy is saying is true? And Logos can come and help us with this. Let's kind of look at what you got here. You had these kind of, in Genesis 1:1, he says this verb here, occurring in the Hebrew kal or qual tense, which those are often interchangeable, always means to create and is only applied to divine creation and the product of something that has not existed before. Okay, let's work with Genesis 1:1. First, we're going to look at this word created. This kind of helps us. This is called bara. So let's just kind of, and it says it means right here to be created. But let's do it makes some statements here. So it means to create and is only applied to divine creation. Well, we can figure that out in Logos. If there's a statement that he makes, let's go into here. There's lemma, there's the root form. So let's kind of do here, and let's do a Bible word study. The Bible word study is a very great tool that allows you to kind of look at some things. So as we see here, of the 37 and 41 verses, it means to create. Bara means to create. 3 of the 41 verses is its reference to the Creator. In Ecclesiastes 2:1, Isaiah 40:28, and Isaiah 43:6. Now, when we hover over this, if I was to go into, let's just say, and I want to know if it's actually this word here. So our word is bara. Bara here. And we saw it in here. We saw it here. And let's go into Isaiah 43:15. Let's see if this creator is actually bara. Because that would, your creator, Israel. There's a little bit difference, but it has the same root. So there's a little bit difference in the words there, but it has the same root meaning. So that same root word is different. This is stuff you want to look at when you are trying to understand passages, what they mean. Like in here, it'll have. So this is, and it makes another statement in here that it is only applied to divine creation. That is, and it has not existed before. So let's try to get a base meaning of what this could mean. here are all the ways where it can. I have a variety of resources. This tells me what it means to create, shape, create this resource here. To cut or carve out to form. So you can figure out through Logos whether or not an author you are reading, a commentator, is actually saying something that is true, or maybe they're confused. So let's double click this. This is another good feature. I click on the results map. This tells me where the word is used. This is very useful. It does the same thing in my bar chart. It's bara is mostly used in Isaiah, and second in Genesis. So that kind of tells you a little something, that there's something a significant. In Genesis uses it 11 times. Column charts do something similar. So these are all things you can figure out with a logo. So another thing that it said, it's something that hasn't existed before. Can we figure out if bara means something that has not existed before? Can we figure that out? We're going to come down here to create here. To be created. These are all the forms of the word. Something right here.
Yeah.
And this is something new, unheard of. So what this guy says can be seen, that has not existed before. So these are, and here's the senses that is very useful to create, is to bring into existence. This is bara. Our verse is right here, to bring into existence. If I was to say to be created, here, something different in verse in Genesis 2:4 is different than it was in. It uses a different word but the same root word. So these are all things that. So let's go down here, and it's used as the predicator. Once again, these are the tools that you have at your disposal to find out information, whether or not a commentator says something, it's from the lectures. You can find that stuff out. So that's kind of what I want you to do. I want you to kind of answer. So when I want you to tell me what this word is, what it means, and is the author right in his assessment. And I want to use proper citation when citing sources. It also makes another statement that he who did the creative work as God, this is Elohim, this Hebrew name is derived from the root word meaning to fear or to reverence. Let's look at that. So we're going to come back here. We're going to go to Genesis 1. And we want to look as the one who's doing the work is God. And you're right, that's Elohim. And what does this... I want to find out, does this word mean to fear? That's my question. Does this mean to fear? So when I go into my Bible word study, let it pop on. Alright. It's going to take a little while for this. Okay. Elohim. Cast before, it's talking about God. Let's kind of see if I got. Let me get the root meaning. So let's get that root. Yeah, let's get this root word, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy it. And I'm gonna click on my Bible word study, and I'm going to paste it in there. Okay, so I'm going to paste that word in there. That tells me okay. So this tells me okay, much of the information. Now there is this. It could either mean God, me. So let's look at some of these other. Okay, let's look at some of this stuff here. I'm not finding where Elohim means to fear. Okay, in Nehemiah, it says something as God-fearing. Let's take a look at that Nehemiah passage. So he's saying the God fears. This is a different word. This is Yari, which is to fear. That's kind of these are seems like two different Hebrew, two different. So these are two different words, and you're gonna
Yahweh.
Yahweh, and you have if I come up here,
Elohim.
there's Elohim and there's Yahweh. Now you'll see very from the start that these are two different words. Even if I was to come in here, you see the root word right here, and if I go to Genesis, you'll see that word. Now this has a Strong's number of H430. Let's look at the one that was in Nehemiah 7:2. Let's see what the number is. 430. So this happens a lot. That you'll see that something will have the same Strong's number. So if I click on that, I open And it groups Elohim. It groups that as Elohim. But as we saw, that is not the same word. Those are two different words. So you're going to see that in some of the older things use Strong's quite heavily. But Strong's, you cannot rely too much. Don't rely too heavily on Strong's, because as we just saw right here, that those are two different words that we had. Like this one right here, it is in Yahweh. And you may not have this resource, so but this is what's called as a compound word. When you see this type of thing, where you see multiple things, you see compound words. So, like this has a Strong's number. Which is something different than the other one. So, needless to say, that from what we found out, that Elohim is not from the derived of the root word meaning to fear. This doesn't mean that this guy is way off on everything. He might have had some resource, and there's just so many ways where this. But you as a expositor or in a student of the word, going back and finding out that information helps you to pull from the good stuff and then leave the bad stuff, or things that might not be as correct. And it says the Hebrew word here it is only used of God in the scriptures. So you're getting the gist to what I'm expecting. Find out. I want you to tell me what these words mean, and cite the resource where they're used, and tell me if the definition that this author gave is the correct one that you found in your software. Just same thing here with. I want you to go into Genesis 1:26. What does subdue mean? So I walked you through basically to what I expect, and hope you have fun. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, bye.